I just got off the back of crying because I opened up about watching porn to my girlfriend. So I think this is the perfect time to talk about how I've used vulnerability as an absolute hack to build an audience online of over 1.5 million followers across TikTok and Instagram. Not only that, but it's also helped me build this cult-like connection with my audience that also makes me $50,000 a month from my business that I sell on the back end of my content. So if you want to be a creator and you want your content to actually blow up and resonate with a genuine audience, please listen up. The first case that I want to talk about is porn addiction, okay? Because I made a video about that and I really harnessed the power of vulnerability when I made this video in November.
Look, when I was in high school, I was horrendously addicted. I'm talking twice a day minimum. And whenever I needed to study for a test, I would always push it back to the last night until like 3 a.m. I would start studying. And I couldn't read my textbook for more than 15 minutes without needing to stop and get some sort of instant gratification like jack off or play video games.
It was one of the most uncomfortable videos to post in my life. That video got so many comments. It got over 1 million views on Instagram Reels as well. And there's a lot of people who followed me from that video and just have kept following me since that for literally 2 more years past that. And they don't understand how strategic of a move it was. Because yes, as uncomfortable as it is to talk about vulnerable things online, it is the #1 superpower that 99% of people will never use in their content creation journey, which is why they're not resonating deeply with their audience. And the interesting thing about vulnerable stories, they actually increase rapport and they increase the connection like 10x because it fulfills a human need that 99% of human beings just walk around in their daily lives never feeling fulfilled in. The feeling of being actually unconditionally accepted and forgiven for whatever shameful things that they have going on in their life. So I use this example of porn addiction because it's one of the most vulnerable things that like 99% of men won't open up about, even though 91% of men, I'm pretty sure statistically, watch porn. And I thought I had conquered porn addiction until, you know, it still bites me in the butt some days. I've probably watched porn like 3 or 4 times this year. It's not the coolest thing to talk about. In fact, it's like really weird. And it's really gross. But when you're able to tell a story that resonates with somebody on a level that they have never even heard on a personal level before, the algorithms are so good. They're just gonna find the human beings that resonate with it. They have so much data on every single user. And this is what like religious testimonies are based off of too. It's that feeling of acceptance and unconditional forgiveness that most people just never get because, let's be honest, we have these standards that we always have to be perfect and we're never going to talk to any of our friends about this kind of stuff. We're never going to talk to our coworkers or classmates about these embarrassing things that go on in our life. So when you can be the creator on the internet that fulfills this person's longing of feeling accepted and forgiven, trust me, it's going to resonate with people. And this is what like all those creators who talk about raw and authentic content get wrong as well, because I know that word's trending in the whole content creation space in 2024, but what does that actually mean? The raw and authentic part that people are really looking for isn't necessarily the fact that it's not edited, it's the fact that people are actually opening up about embarrassing and difficult stories. Vulnerability is the core piece of this raw and authentic style of content that is only going to get more and more popular in 2025 because it will continue fulfilling a human need that not only 90% of creators on social media won't fulfill, but it's 90% of human beings in our day-to-day relationships don't fulfill this. I want to talk about the practical steps to actually being able to achieve this in your content. Well, step 1 is journaling about it because it's not actually hard to actually film this authentic style of content. In fact, I have like 5 lines of text written up on my notes app. I've barely even scripted this. But the first step is actually feeling comfortable in your own skin enough to actually talk about things online. That first step is just self-awareness, which comes from journaling and simply being honest to yourself. Even if you're showing nobody else in the world, journal it down on a piece of paper and write down what is something that you're struggling with, what is something that you're feeling really ashamed of. So in my situation, it's watching porn 2 weeks ago. Even though I talked about with my girlfriend that I'm never going to do it again, okay, like I'm clean, I'm never going to do it again. And then I still struggled with that problem 3 months later, okay, when work got difficult, I got stressed and I just needed some escape from life. That is step number 1. Journal about it. Be honest with yourself. You need some avenue to open up to yourself at least. Because if you continue lying to yourself in the mirror that I don't have any flaws and I'm a pretty good person and I don't have all of these issues, okay, well then it's going to be hard to actually resonate with people and build that rapport in the sense where you fulfill that need of people seeking honest human beings that they can connect with online. Step number 2 is then to simply tell one friend. Like whoever your closest friend is, just simply tell them, like go up to them and be like, hey, have you struggled with this, dude? Like you can maybe laugh. It's gonna be really fucking awkward. We're just gonna be like, hey, I've been struggling with, you know, a porn addiction and I'm really scared to tell XYZ person, but you know, I really struggled with this 2 weeks ago and I don't know, I didn't really have anyone else to tell. So treat authenticity and vulnerability as an exercise to yourself to be able to reach and tap into more levels of honesty with yourself and more honest self-expression. And once you're able to do that with even just one human being, that is the energy and the mental state that you tap into when you actually then film. So when you sit down and actually record, you press record on your iPhone or your Sony camera, whatever. Simply imagine that person behind the camera and imagine you're talking to them. And try and settle as much into that flow state as possible, because when you're able to settle into an absolute flow state where you simply think you're talking to a real human being, then the video is just simply going to feel conversational and authentic. That kind of authentic style of content that most creators are striving for in 2024, 2025, because this is the mental, internal and external process that I want you to go through. And it's gonna help you not only forgive yourself and just feel more light as a human being and feel more expressive and feel more comfortable in your own skin. So as a self-developmental exercise, I think it's great to be able to journal your own thoughts. If you've never journaled before, it's gonna be weird. It's gonna feel like you're like writing into a diary and you're gonna feel like really feminine and stupid doing it. But trust me, this is what like the best creators do. They simply have a really strong self-awareness and they understand what their strengths are as a human being and just who they are, and then they're able to authentically express it on camera. Okay, so step 1 is to journal about it and process it yourself and feel okay with yourself and forgive yourself. Step 2 is to be able to simply sell it to one person. And then step 3 is to talk about it online. But that process usually only happens when you're so comfortable because you've already written it down on a piece of paper and you're forgiven yourself, and then you can talk about it online. When you're able to tap into that energy, I mean, you're still freaking watching right now. It's not even about virality per se. It's just simply being able to sit down with a viewer, even if it's on a short 60-second reel, being able to sit down with that viewer for an entirety of 60 to 90 seconds and genuinely make them feel like they're present with you and they genuinely understand you as if they've known you your whole life. And that only happens not by embellishing our stories with 95% truth of, how was your day? Oh yeah, my day was all right. My day was cool. Like, no, I came off the back of crying literally 30 minutes ago. I was like crying my eyes out for the first time in a month because I felt so ashamed of telling my girlfriend that I had done this. Something that I literally promised her. I despise porn addicts, bro. Like, people who still succumb to that kind of stuff, they're weak, bro. That's not me. Trying to sound all cool and like masculine and shit, and then here I am crying about it. My eyes are probably a little bit puffy because of it. It's a perfect time to make a video, because when I feel this peak of shame, it's probably also when I'm able to show up with the most emotion on camera. If it paints me so poorly, I have a business to run on top of these videos. So mind you too, like, this is great for conversion, oddly enough, because you're going to be the one creator in your niche that your viewer can actually trust, because 95% of other creators are embellishing their stories. They're embellishing their day and only painting the best, most pristine picture. And you have to understand that this caked up, pristine picture of an ideal life on social media is actually saturated. So when you can simply be a creator that does the difficult work of opening up and doing the uncomfortable moves, speaking not just from the heart about the things that make you happy, but the things that bring you shame and the things that bring you pain, like I'm doing right now. And that's still why you're listening to me. So this will create a bond with you and your viewer, literally in that instant, in the span of a 60-second video, that will not only cause them to like and comment and get engaged with the video, but it will also cause them to hit that subscribe or follow button. Please hit it. And then it's also going to cause them to build that bond where drop a product on your Instagram story, they're the first ones to buy it because they feel like you are the one person they can trust online. So that is the biggest hack. That's how I've been able to grow, my Instagram account now this year, 190,000 followers in the span of 1 year from posting just raw and authentic Instagram reels. Like, frick does that even mean, dude? It's just opening up. It's being uncomfortable on camera. And by the continual process of being uncomfortable and sharing the thing that really brings us the most shame, you're also comforting the one person out there who really needs to hear it today. Not this embellished story that makes you look good that doesn't actually help anybody, but these stories that show that you are just like anybody else. Those stories are the ones that genuinely inspire people to take action, to reach their goals, to improve as human beings as well. So if you are the type of creator who wants to genuinely impact the world as well, this is a superpower, not just obviously to manipulate your audience. Okay, that's how I got you to click on this video, but it's the type of content that's gonna help you genuinely impact and persuade lives. And that's gonna help genuinely inspire change. Because a lot of times people have limiting beliefs as a viewer of, oh dude, I could never hit the gym because I have these deep-rooted parental traumas of, I grew up being called skinny all the time by my friends in 8th and 9th grade, and then now like I still feel this insecurity every time I look in the mirror. Like weird stories like that. Just try them and put out a signal to the world, because you never know who that's going to reach. And trust that the algorithm is going to reach those people, and that those people will engage, and it's going to signal to the algorithm back to you that you are a creator worth listening to. That's how you can manipulate the audience member, but realistically simply genuinely impact somebody's life and genuinely get their attention through authenticity and vulnerability. All right. And if you want more tactical advice on content creation, I highly recommend you check out the first video in the description. It walks you through more of the nuanced content tactical side. But yeah, this video I just want to rant about how important it is for creators to be authentic, because yes, obviously it helps them build an audience, but not only that, but it helps you genuinely impact lives in a way that most other creators simply won't do. So if you're still seeing this video, it's because you genuinely care about your audience member too. And I believe that is the first step to genuinely creating a beautiful impact in this world through the medium of content creation. Okay, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.